Pete, talk me through your model. This fantastic model here in its new home in Friargate House.
This is a model of Coventry in the year 1509. 1509, I'll explain to you in a moment why 1509. But Henry VIII had just come to the throne. All the gates were complete, so we had the 12 gates on the walls, and the magnificent St Mary's Cathedral, all its churches, was all there. I'll give you a guided tour around the gates. This is Gosford Gate just here, as you can see, and St George's. This is St George's Chapel running there.
So Gosford Gate would be where Far Gosford Street becomes Gosford Street.
This is Far Gosford Street running along here, but this is
and that today's where the Sherborne comes out of the city. So that is still visible. Well, visible now, but it's about the only bit here.
Named after Gooks Ford. Gooks Ford was where they used to drive the geese through. Bringing you around the walls, you've got Whitefriars here. The only bit of Whitefriars that now remains is this little bit here, along there, which is you can see from the ring road.
That's next to where Elliott's used to be.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah. And that's under, the Golson Road, London Road roundabout.
This is Golson Road here, down here. Wasn't in those days, of course. And then this is the very first gate to be built, new gate. So this is Much Park Street, run along there. And you run round to Little Park Street, a Little Park Gate here, Little Park Street there.
So again, this would be under the Charlesmore junction of the Ring Road now?
It would, exactly. Got Ford's Hospital over here, which was built in 1509. And that is the reason why the model is dated 1509, because I wanted to include Ford's Hospital onto the model, so it couldn't be before 1509, and after 1509, if you had left it much longer, Henry VIII, as I say, was on the throne, and we would have lost our magnificent cathedrals and churches. Here, this is Charlesmore Manor House, and that's the bit that still remains, just along there. And if you're very lucky, like myself, you can get married in there, because that's the...
I got married, I'd be better than that, I got married in the Guildhall. Not that it did me any good.
So most of this building is now gone. This is Greyfriars.
I say Charlesmore Manor House was the only royal palace outside of London that wasn't fortified, exactly because of this magnificent wall that we had around the city.
That's exactly true. This is Greyfriars Monastery. Greyfriars Monastery, and Greyfriars Church, which later became Christ Church, because this was lost in the Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries, and the spire still remained, but the rest of it was knocked down. Then this was rebuilt in later years as Christ Church, which was also lost in the Blitz. That's where the rainbow crossing is now. That's about where that was.
Yeah.
And that was there till 17 something or other. That's just a building to show a building under construction.
Oh right, okay.
So that's what it is. That's Vicar Lane down there. If you come around to here, this is Spon Gate, a magnificent Spon Gate, and this is
this would be Spon Street here.
Street here, yes.
Spon Street wasn't actually inside the city.
Yes. This is St John the Baptist Church, and this is Hill Street running around here. This is Ford's Hospital. This is...
Oh, and of course that's before Badblake School was built, because that was only came up in 1530. So the bit here where Badblake School isn't there. Yeah.
If you look a bit, this is Smithford Street. Smithford Street, which runs up through what would be the precinct now. This is the Bullion here, and this is the Bullyard right here. Right next to it is the Green Dragon, and I say that's Broadgate across the top there. Broadgate. This is across Cheaping down here, and that's the represent the cross there. This would be the High Street, and High Street up there, and this would be this was where the Golden Cross is now, but the Golden Cross hadn't been built in those days, so that's still the Royal Mint, which is still there. I'll show you around.
Oh, thank you.
This is a cross-cheaping running down here. This is Butcher's Row and Little Butcher's Row across here.
And that was knocked down in 1935, wasn't
That's
it?
correct, that's
700 years old.
Yes, that's correct. This is the magnificent Cathedral of St Mary, Holy Trinity and St Michael's Church. And if you look here, this is the Pilgrim's Rest. And just Pilgrim's Rest was owned by was in association with St Mary's Cathedral, where all of their people stop. This is Palmer Lane running around here, and there's the only part in the city where you can see the river still on display.
Now, which river is which? Because there's two rivers here,
No.
and one's a Sherborne.
This is Radford Brook.
Oh, that's Radford Brook. Sorry, yeah, of course it is.
And the rest of this, all the way around, is the Sherborne still today, which was an orchard. You've got the Hospital of St John, which is an old grammar school. Round here
And that's it. It was a hospital of St John until the dissolution of the guilds.
That's right.
And then it became the second site for King Henry, because the first King Henry school was over there at Whitefriars.
Just here you've got Hill Street Gate. And you've got
And
Wall Street Gate.
that's marked on the road in Hill Street, isn't it?
And
No.
Bishop's Gate, yeah.
Yeah. And that's Bishopsgate is underneath the Canal Basin Bridge.
Yes,
So
it is. Yes. Cook, the only two surviving gates is
Yeah.
Cook Street Gate and what was Prior's Gate and now becomes Swanswell Gate. And just over here is Swanswell Pool. This is over this side here. We've got Earl's Mill Gate, and there's Earl's Mill here. Earl's Mill Lane running down there. Earl's Mill Lane later became Cock Street.
Okay, so it's,
Sorry.
yeah. I'm thinking it's milk. That there would be underneath the Elephant Building now.
It'd be
Millgate.
Nearby.
Almost,
nearby
yeah.
that, almost,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. And you've got
And we're back at the start.
and over here you got Palace Yard.
Old Palace Yard, yeah. Involved with the gunpowder plot, sort of.
This is the site where Coventry Council House is now. You've got the Guildhall here and the remains of Coventry Castle.
So there was more of Coventry Castle left then than there is now, because now it's just that tower at the back.
That one
It's just that one tower there.
there.
Yeah, Caesar's Tower.
All right.
Are you sure about the spires on the cathedral, on the old one?
No.
Good.
We know exactly the footprint is exactly correct.
Yeah.
But we've had to look at the upper structures and including the spires and estimate what it would have looked like. We can only assume, we believe it had 3 spires, but we can't be certain to that. But we looked at Litchfield Cathedral, which is in the same diocese as Coventry. It's Coventry and Litchfield, same bishop. And we looked at this. The church was built at the same time, so we had to look at what we think it may have looked like.
Well, that's it. They started building Litchfield Cathedral while they were still building Cov. And of course, Litchfield is like, that's what I tell people on the walk. Say, if you want to know what it looked like, it's like Litchfield Cathedral, except Litchfield Cathedral is smaller, and the only debate is whether it would have 3 spires the same way, or whether it would look like Winchester Cathedral and not have any at all.
2 final things I just want to point out here. That's Whitefriars Gate, and that's the remains of Merchant House.
So that is the toy museum. Is what we would call it. And of course, if that had 3 spires, with Whitefriars, at this point in time, Coventry is the city of 7 spires.
Yes,
Not 3, is it, as we know it today?
exactly.
How long did it take you to make it, Pete?
About 10 months.
10 months. So, as I said when I first saw it, I said this is possibly the most useful thing that ever came out of lockdown, and it is just fantastic. It's a marvellous piece of work.